wisdom, Siddha's wisdom, is the answer to our search for eternal youth, happiness, health, and wisdom. This is what we are going to discuss today. Our Siddhas have realized from the reproductive process that the sexual glands are endowed with God's power to create and God's intelligence to organize life. Our Swamiji in fact called God as the primordial source of energy. So therefore energy itself is God. God is our life force in an evolved transformative state which animates all living things, and this is the motor of all the creative process. God is the intelligence, and therefore Swamiji called it as consciousness, which engineers life and gives healing ability to the body to repair itself. Dear friends, the body is therefore a self-diagnostic, self-healing system. It can find out where it is going wrong and it can repair itself, correct itself, heal itself, cure itself. Doctors' medicines don't cure our body. The body cures by itself. Isn't that a fantastic thing to know that you really don't need a doctor? The sexual glands are the source of our life. Our Siddhas felt that these glands could also be used as a source of vitality or life force for their own bodies, and discovered the methods of wisdom for this purpose. Such a method is our Kayakalpa yoga. With this method, we can revitalize ourselves with this Kundalini energy, living energy, and promote self-healing to its full power. By energizing the whole body from head to toe, we can eventually incarnate God's nature to the fullest. This is the process of longevity and eventually immortality. The secret of Siddha wisdom is quite different from the clinical or behavioral medicinal sciences that many people currently study and practice. The Siddha's wisdom, the Kayakalpa yoga's secret knowledge is embedded in a series of techniques that harmonize with the natural inclinations of the body and awaken the intuitive and spiritual centers. It does not stop at the stage of ordinary sexual indulgence, which is the only focus of many people today, unfortunately. Many negative beliefs have arisen around sex in modern life. Many people think that the word sex itself is dirty or sinful because they have no understanding of how sexual energy relates to spirituality. Some religions set aside sex and advocate celibacy to heighten spiritual awareness. But guilt and celibacy result in the atrophy of the sexual glands. Our Siddhas teach that exercising the sexual glands as if they were another part of the body, which of course they are, will preserve the hormone, nutrition and energy levels and bring direct benefit to the body, thereby protecting the body from disease and deterioration and open the doors to higher levels of spirituality. Most religions only worship God. They provide beautiful words, pictures, statues, mantras, but they do not provide a direct, tangible experience of God. Only Swamiji has enlightened us that God is everywhere and can be experienced everywhere. If one has been blind, one cannot fully understand the meaning of the word light. Without experiencing love and compassion, you cannot fully understand the meaning of the word God. To experience love is to experience God. Experiencing love brings mankind closer to God. But unfortunately, even the meaning of the word love has been contorted and confused in today's world. Our Siddhas has given us in the science of Kayakalpa Yoga words of wisdom. It is a refreshing solution to reconcile people's common dilemma between their sexual instincts and their spiritual aspirations. On one hand, some social influences promote the sexual instincts at the animalistic level only. In fact, even some doctors recommend it. Go ahead, indulge in sexual act. Go ahead, indulge in masturbation. And many people even ask me this question in live sessions such as this. How come the doctors are recommending indulgence in sexual act on a regular basis, but how come our Siddhas, our Swamiji has told us to maintain moderation and discipline, preparing oneself towards complete celibacy? Let's try and find answers for that today. Some religions, of course, completely ban or debase sexual activity, hoping to promote a spiritual orientation away from these animalistic instincts. Neither is a possible solution. One cannot go on indulging in sexual act and succeed in spiritual progress, nor can one completely abstain from sexual activity and succeed in spiritual progress. People who have attempted to abstain from sexual activity have died of sperm poison. One such saint has lived in India who died at a very young age because of sperm poison. Many of you may know that person. Kayakalpa Yoga eliminates this dilemma between this sexual instincts and sexual activity and spiritual progress. It has given us a window through which we can understand that there is a beautiful link between these two. Longer, happier, healthier, and wiser lives can be attained through the practice of Kayakalpa Yoga. This is so because our ancient Siddhas were not ethereal, abstract philosophers. So they were very practical people who discarded a technique when it did not work and who only developed and used techniques that did work. Unfortunately, these techniques had remained dormant or almost lost for centuries. Fortunately, this has been rediscovered by our Guru Yogiraj Sri Vedatri Maharishi, and he has gifted us this wonderful art of Kayakalpa Yoga. People die from two things: disease and deterioration of cells. This is normal death, not accidental death or suicide and murder and things like that. Now, when a person normally dies, it's either because of disease or because of deterioration of cells. To prevent disease, one must protect the immune system. When one does not incur small diseases, one will not incur moderate diseases. When one does not incur moderate diseases, one will not incur serious diseases. When one incurs no serious diseases, one will never die. This is the natural gift of life, which is immunity. In other words, if we keep the resistance of our body high, we will not be affected by germs or viruses. No coronavirus, no COVID-19 needs to be worrying us. If only we maintain our body's immunity high. A person who is weak and lacks resistance can be killed by just one coronavirus, one COVID-19, one germ, one bacteria, one virus is enough. To prevent deterioration, one must be reborn. Even Jesus Christ has talked about it when he said, one cannot get into the kingdom of God without rebirth. It doesn't mean that you have to be born again in another body, but you have to be reborn every day in your same body. How do you do that? Rebirth in this context is based on the theory that sexual energy, the ojas, is capable of producing life but can also be used for rejuvenating old cells. If one can make oneself pregnant in a spiritual sense, not in a physical sense, whether it is a male or female, pregnant with transmuted spiritual energy from the sexual energy, one can give old cells new life. Isn't that what is called as rebirth in one sense? Aging is the result of deterioration, death, or non-replacement of cells. A newborn baby is fresh because every cell in the baby's body is fresh. If our cells are always fresh, we will not age and we will not die. Both prevention of disease and prevention of deterioration can be achieved through the practice of Kayakalpa Yoga. Why Kayakalpa Yoga is effective against disease and deterioration? Let us now think a little bit more about it in detail. Medical science concentrates on one approach to healing. What they do is they approach it like a classical approach to warfare. They find a germ, they kill it. They find a bacteria, they kill it. They find a virus, they kill it. That is why they have antibiotics and other medicines. But our Swamiji has told us that it is best to prevent disease in the beginning itself. Our Siddhas did not study disease. Our Swamiji did not study disease. He studied life. He studied health and how to maintain them. This is a very basic difference between our Vedatriyan way of life and the modern English medicine way of life. Of course, both the Siddhas in the past and our Swamiji knew how to heal. After all, Swamiji was a Ayurveda doctor himself. It was necessary for them to learn and practice medicine. Many Siddhas were also Siddha doctors. They knew the functioning of the human body, but their main concern was to prevent disease, to prevent their followers from ever contracting a disease in the first place. This is why Siddhas have developed other methods of healing. The purpose of such methods is to increase longevity, not to get bogged down in fighting disease. Our Siddhas knew, today the modern scientists and the doctors also know, that there are hundreds of millions of different kinds of germs, bacteria and viruses, and that it was pointless to try to develop ways to kill them all. It's not possible to kill these viruses, coronavirus for instance. What has come now as COVID-19 is, I believe, the 7th or the 8th strain of coronavirus. Even the common cough and cold is caused by a coronavirus strain only. So it's a family of viruses. So today what has come is the next generation member of the same coronavirus gene pool or the coronavirus family. This coronavirus is called the novel coronavirus. It's a new coronavirus. It's an innovative coronavirus. And therefore it is called the novel coronavirus. But our Siddhas realize that the only sensible approach is to keep the body healthy so it can resist all of its intruders. As a result, a very detailed and complete preventive method emerged thousands of years ago, which is still very practical for our use today. The human body is like an electric battery. It needs energy to function. At its functional best, it needs a maximum amount of energy. What happens if you, as a human battery, do not have enough energy in your system? Let us say that you have only 70% of your full energy capacity. You usually instantly feel miserable, tired, and you want to go to bed. If you are only 50% full, you will end up in a hospital. If only 20% energy is left, you will be under intensive care, ICU. And at 0%, the battery is empty and you are dead. If you were to go to a funeral and pay your last respects to the deceased, the person who is dead, he might look just the same as always. The only difference between him and you would be that his battery was dead. His body would lay unanimated. His spirit or life or energy would be gone. He would have no juice, no electricity left. That is why in the Kayakalpa Yoga principle, it is necessary for us to keep our battery full always, to keep recharging ourselves continually. You may have heard the comment, my resistance is down. This statement indicates that the person has less than 100% of his charge of energy. He is tired, run down, and susceptible to cold, illness, virus, fever, dysentery, etc. As soon as we open our eyes in the morning, we begin depleting energy. Every daily activity we ordinarily do will deplete our battery, weaken our immune system, and finally lower our resistance to diseases and external germs such as virus and bacteria. We receive much of the energy we need from the food we eat and the air we breathe. However, the body, much like an expensive automobile, must be finely tuned if it is to run properly and utilize this energy to the maximum. Apart from the food that we eat, the water that we drink, and the air that we breathe, heat as a source of energy for us, heat energy and the Akashic energy are also two other invisible sources of energy for us. A person who is having higher amount of this Akashic energy will always remain youthful, energetic, and immune to diseases. This is the secret of immunity. Where are these energies stored? What are the energy centers of the body? The 7 chakras. Mooladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipuraha, Anahata, Visuddhi, Agna, Sahasrara, Durya. These are the 7 chakras that are the 7 glands working as energy centers responsible for regulating the flow of energy within the various systems of the body. Let's look at these 7 glands in descending order within the body. The pineal gland. This gland directly affects the other glands through its secretions and allows one to communicate on the spiritual level. Intuition, perspicacity, conscience are also associated with this gland only. This is why this gland is sometimes referred to as the divine door to God. This is pineal gland. This is the Sahasrara gland. The pituitary gland, which governs the mind, that is, memory, intelligence, wisdom, and thought, is our Agna chakra. The thyroid gland, which maintains the metabolism of the cells in the body, governing the growth and is also associating with the breathing system, is our Visuddhi chakra. The thymus, which governs the heart and the circulatory system, is the Anagata chakra. The pancreas, which helps maintain control over digestion, blood sugar level, and body temperature, this is the Manipuraha chakra. The adrenal, which supports the functioning of the kidneys, bones, and spine, and the sexual gland, the prostate, the testis in the male, and the ovaries, uterus, vagina, the breast in the female, which are responsible for hormone secretions, sexual energy, and response and reproduction. These two glands are connecting to Swadhisthana and Mooladhara chakra. These 7 glands may be visualized as vessels which are attached to one another by a series of arteries or tubes. Each vessel, each gland that is dependent upon all the others for its supply of liquid, that is the energy. If vessel A, say the sexual glands, is supplied with this fluid energy, this fluid will slowly disperse through the arteries to the remaining 6 vessels. Similarly, if vessel C, say pancreas, were to be drained excessively of its fluid through a leakage of some kind, each of the other vessels would give up a portion of its supply to re-establish an equilibrium within the system. This is similar to the way energy flows within our bodies. A state of weakness or susceptibility to disease arises when one system, or in this case, one gland, is deprived of energy for some reason. Our task then becomes to re-establish the balanced flow of energy so that we raise the level of energy within our body to its maximum. Balancing the energy to its proper level is the Kayakalpa yoga way to re-establish the immune system. Through this increase of energy, we can then reverse our existing weakness and heal ourselves, as well as utilize the higher order of energy to open up our spiritual centers. The sexual glands form the base of the glandular complex. The energy which supports the pineal, pituitary, thyroid, thymus, pancreas, and adrenal is generated in the sex organs. When the sexual glands are not kept healthy through the practice of Kayakalpa yoga, the entire body suffers. Many of you are Kundalini yogis in our Sky Yoga system. What do we do when our body is somewhat ill? Let us say one has got stomach upset or fever. We immediately practice Shanti meditation. Why? Because the sexual gland is the only gland, the Mooladhara chakra is the only location which converts the spiritual energy into biomagnetic energy, which is the measure of the battery of the body. Think of these sexual glands as the stove. A stove must have fire inside. Without fire, the stove will be useless to mankind because life will terminate when no food is cooked. The sexual hormones or sexual fluids are the body's fire. The words stove and fire provide a good metaphor to show how the process of rebirth works. There is also water. This term, of course, includes all of the body's secretions from the kidneys, bladder, adrenal, and sexual glands. It is through water that we are reborn. The sexual organs and kidneys, considered to be sister organs in our Kayakalpa yoga system, are related to the water element and have a mutual effect on each other. It is through the sexual organs, sexual function, and the process called rebirth that you can enter the kingdom of God. In reality, the kingdom of God is not outside of you, it is inside of you, it is within you. You merely have to help it surface. Rebirth is a means of recharging one's battery, to raise one's energy level and prevent aging. Aging occurs throughout the course of daily living. Aging occurs when sleep, the regular means of energy elevation, is hindered by insomnia or blockages in the body. Sleep allows the universal energy to penetrate the points of entry and exit, also called the acupuncture points, travel through all the meridians and permeate and recharge every cell. Each and every cell in the body is recharged. This allows you to wake up feeling fresh, wake up refreshed. Sexual intercourse or indulgence in sexual activities deplete the body's energy and cause a great deal of tension. This tension blocks the body's ability to receive energy. Why is it so? Let's take ejaculation as a physiological function of the prostate gland to analyze and understand the concept. When the male organ is stimulated, the prostate swells with secretions. These secretions contain nutrients, hormones, and vital energy. They constitute the semen or the seminal fluid, which is the substance that serves as carrier for our sperm. Sperm, of course, is produced in the testicles. When the average male ejaculates, he loses about 1 tablespoon of seminal fluid, semen. According to research, the nutritional value of this amount of semen is equal to 1 plate of rice, 10 eggs, 6 oranges, and 2 lemons combined. That includes proteins, vitamins, minerals, amino acid, etc., etc. An ejaculation also represents a great deal of lost vital energy. This is demonstrated by how tired a man feels after ejaculation. Everything goes away from the man: energy, hormones, nutrients, even a little bit of his personality is gone. It is a great sacrifice for a man. Such a sacrifice is necessary in order to procreate, in order to bear a child, in order to prolong your generations. It is a divine duty, but not for personal pleasure and indulgence. A man gives away spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and physically. When the prostate gland swells to its maximum capacity, it begins a rapid series of contractions until it shrinks to its normal size. These contractions squeeze the secretions from the prostate through the urethra into the male organ and then out of the tip of the male organ. This process is called ejaculation. Orgasm is an outcome of ejaculation. Why? Because each time the prostate contracts and relaxes, it draws the seminal fluid. It also draws sperm from the testicles. It is possible for a man to experience as many as 21 contractions. Since ejaculation is a one with prostate problems may experience only 5 contractions within an orgasm, or even only 1. If there is a problem in the prostate, there will be a problem with ejaculation. In a man, the sexual glands consist of the prostate and the testicles. The male organ, the penis itself, is not considered part of the sexual glands because it doesn't produce anything. It's just a tube. It's a tube through which the glandular secretions can pass, an instrument to be used for the sake of procreation only. The testicles produce the sperm, the prostate produces the semen with all its nutrients, hormones, and vital energy. But where does the seminal fluid come out? Where does the seminal fluid accumulate from? From the bone marrow. Have you heard that some of the finest treatments for cancer, especially blood cancer, is bone marrow treatment? Why? Because if the bone marrow is healthy, then it produces good amount of antibodies resistant to diseases, develops immensely in a human body if the bone marrow is of high intensity. Our Swamiji said, this bone marrow, the marrow within the bone, the marrow that is filling the entire brain, is nothing but high intensity magnetic fluid. It is filled with high intensity magnetic field. And when the prostate contracts and secretes this fluid and ejaculates the fluid from the body, this entire biomagnetism, intense magnetic field is disturbed, and the energy is sucked and drawn and thrown out of the body. Only when the marrow contains intense biomagnetic energy, every cell in the body, every life force particle in the body, the ethereal, the kundalini energy particle within the body, the infinitesimal energy particle within the body is soaked and provided with immunity power. That is not easy for a microbe such as a bacteria or a virus to penetrate. This is the immunity power. This is, in fact, in our Siddha's own words, the immunity of the human body. So what should a person do to improve the immunity power? He must not ejaculate, but he must injaculate. He must transmute this vital, precious energy and take it all the way up to his brain and store it there. Because once ejaculation is complete, all of the 7 glands are depleted, particularly the sexual glands. If you go in this direction, moving the energy down through the 7 glands and out of the body, you are moving in the direction of an animal, moving in the direction of all human beings who eventually die. However, by going in the other direction, moving the energy upward through the 7 glands in the body, you can live an immortal life, a divine life. For this reason, our Siddha, our modern day Siddha, Yogiraj Sri Vedatri Maharishi, searched and uncovered a way for the man to have even more enjoyable life without ejaculation by retaining and utilizing his own vital energy. The same is true in a slightly different form for a woman as well. The equivalent of a prostate gland in a woman is the skin gland. So therefore, the hormones that form a man, the hormones that form a woman, are both present in various proportions, not in equal proportions, in both the bodies. A man is therefore a woman is therefore a man, only because of certain hormones being developed at certain point of times during the development of the human body, that a woman is identified with her organs, external appearance as a woman. A man is identified with his external organs or the lack of it as a man. But inside, the life force, the biomagnetism, the sexual vital fluid, the blood, the cells, the marrow, the bone, the tissues, the muscles, the juice, All of these have been constructed quite similarly. The fundamental structural element for both the bodies is the cell. The cell is precisely the same. The immunity that is provided for each and every cell is provided in both bodies by the sexual vital fluid. So it is therefore important for all of us to maintain the integrity, the quality, and the intensity of the sexual vital fluid. When we maintain the sexual vital fluid in good quality and good intensity, the intensity of life force energy that is stored within this battery is maintained in good quality and intensity, which further results in the biomagnetism within the body being maintained in good quality and intensity. When the biomagnetism is maintained in good quality and intensity, immunity is developed, immunity is maintained very well. If you would like to maintain resistance against virus, against bacteria, against amoeba, against all other microbes, then you must maintain a good quality of magnetic intensity, and that requires you to maintain your Kundalini Shakti, which requires you to maintain your sexual vital fluid. There is only one method that can help you achieve this: Kayakalpa Yoga. Ashwini Mudra separates the vital from the non-vital portion of the seminal fluid. Ojo's breathing recirculates this vital energy and transmutes the sexual energy into spiritual energy, high intensity marrow energy in the brain, and supplies it harmoniously throughout the body. Vazhga valmudan. Thank you very much for being there. Thank you very much for your inspiration. May our Guru and the Almighty Force shower you all with good health, long life, enough wealth, peace, prosperity, fame, and wisdom. Vazhga valmudan. Be blessed by the Divine.
Be blessed by the Divine. What an absolutely fabulous talk, sir. You blew them away with all of your inspiring words and phrases. Indeed, your excellent delivery of speech would definitely bring marvelous changes within us to learn and practice the technique Kayakalpa Yoga regularly. For the Kayakalpa Yoga, which is a precious gift given to the mankind by our Guru Yogiraj Sri Vedatri Maharishi. Thank you so much, sir, for your inspiring speech. On behalf of all the listeners, we thank you, sir, for your wonderful speech. Now the forum is open for the discussion questions. Please click on the raise hand button in your Zoom app to raise your questions to our professor. While you are preparing for your questions, we have a couple of important announcements to make. Please emphasize all your near and dear ones to learn and practice Kayakalpa Yoga. You can easily learn Kayakalpa Yoga from your home by visiting the website kayakalpayoga.edu.in or by downloading the Android application. Our monthly journal Anboli is also available in the Android app. Get access to the premium content of our Guru Yogiraj Sri Vedatri Maharishi's speeches at a nominal subscription. Connect with us on Facebook and YouTube at Sky Yoga TV to listen to all the past speeches of our beloved professors for free. Karma Yoga principles of Vedatrium suggest donating 1% of your income to the good causes of the society. As some of you are aware, these donations are not expenditures, but they are investments. You get more than what you pay as good karma. We invite you to donate to the World Community Service Center either through the Anboli app or through our official website, which is vedatri.edu.in. Section 80G exemptions are available for these donations. Now we will start the question and answer session. We request the participants to straightly ask the questions directly to our professor. Thank you. Mr. Dhirendra Prasad, you can ask your question, sir. Please unmute yourself and raise your question.
Sir, I have two questions. One, when the capital punishment is awarded and the culprit is hanged to death, will he throw out some sexual vital fluid out of his body when he is hanged? That's one question. Second question, I am practicing this Kayakalpa for the past 5 years. Still, I have one doubt. My stools throwing out becomes stony sometimes, not regularly, say once in 15 days or so. I feel it difficult to throw it out. Am I doing something wrong in my procedure? Please guide me, sir.
Death will come only when the last final quantum of the sexual vital fluid is secreted or eliminated, evacuated from the body. As long as there is sexual vital fluid, life force will remain within the body. So whether a person dies of natural causes or whether the person is given a corporal capital punishment like a death sentence and hanged to death, or the person is murdered or met with an accident, all these cases, the final quantum of fluid has to be evacuated from the body. So therefore, there is no other way to die. The only way to die is to remove the final quantum of the vital fluid from us. Constipation, which is what you are describing as stony stools, is not the result of Kayakalpa yoga, but the result of your wrong lifestyle habits, particularly your food habits, is the main reason for this. So change your diet to whole food, some plant-based diet. You can go and search for whole food plant-based diet. You'll understand what it means. When you follow whole food plant-based diet, certainly this constipation problem will go away. If you're having problems with digestion, then you will have problems with excretion. So excretion is a mere force that pushes waste materials out of the body. So think about what you are putting in. What puts in comes out. So evaluate that. Follow whole food plant-based diet.
Be blessed. Yamuna madam, you can ask your question. Please unmute yourself.
Evening wishes, sir. Yamuna from Madras. Awesome explanation about food management. Awesome. Very explanation, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
I'm not sure if you asked any question, but I'm not able to hear you very clearly. A lot of noise in the background.
We'll go for Sarada Muthukrishnan. You can ask your question, sir.
Valmudan. Sir, I'm Muthukrishnan, sir. Sir, I am having prostate problem for the past 10 years.
When How old are you, sir?
Sir?
How old are you, sir?
I am 75, sir.
Okay.
Sir, when I do the Kayakalpa, the problem increases. Whether any connection between the prostate and the Kayakalpa, sir?
Actually, it should help the prostrate condition. See, look, about 20% or about 1 in 5 people above the age of 70 today suffer from prostrate related problems. So male deer exercise is a possible control mechanism, perhaps even will cure such conditions if the prostrate still is able to revive itself. It may be a little tough, but just like how you put your palm over your stomach and rotate in our massage exercise in our Swamiji's system, like that you put your palm over your prostrate area, about Swadhisthana chakra, 2 inches, 3 inches below the navel, and you massage it in a circular fashion for about 81 times, and then take rest and do it with left hand in clockwise direction for 81 times, relax, and then use the right hand and clockwise rotate for 81 times. If you do that, then the blood circulation, heat, air, life force, magnetic circulation improves in your prostrate area, and that is likely to help you control, if not completely cure, your prostrate problem. But do not depend on this for curative purposes. I do not recommend this as a cure. I only recommend this as a prevention mechanism. At best, it will prevent further deterioration of your prostrate.
Thank you, sir. Santosh, you can ask your question, sir.
Yeah, I'm Santosh and I'm 25 years old. Actually, I have a problem for past 5 years. Telling about myself, I completed all Akatayu 5 courses in Guduvanjeri and then completed Brahmanyanam at Alyaru. After that, while doing Kayakalpa, I have some problem with myself. The problem is that nightfall. I have twice or thrice a week. When I do Kayakalpam, and if after that, if nightfall occurs, there will be huge pain in my body for continuously for 2 days. And I am found no way to stop the nightfall and do Kayakalpam. That's all, Guru.
Number one, before going to bed, make sure that you do Shanti meditation, and for at least 2 hours before going to bed, don't watch your mobile, don't watch television, don't read any books that will stimulate your senses. So don't get excited by anything 2 hours before going to bed. So this is number 2. Number 3, make sure that you eat 3 to 4 hours before going to bed. My dinner time usually at 6 o'clock. Today I finished my dinner at 6:30 and then I came for this session. So likewise, you also get into the habit of finishing your dinner by 6:30. So by 9:30, 10 when you go to bed, you will be very fully digested your food, and no amount of disturbance will be there when you go to bed. So number 4, make sure that there is darkness around you before you go to bed for at least half an hour. That means no mobile phone, no television, no switching on the light, no laptop, none of those things. Read Swamiji's books. Okay, if you really can't sleep, just get up from the bed, take Swamiji's book and read. And that is the number 5 thing that I will tell you. 6th is do deep relaxation. 7th is to do Kayakalpa yoga exercise in lying down position, 10 times Ashwini Mudra or 20 times Ashwini Mudra, once or twice Ojo's breathing. You do remember that must be done in empty stomach. That means 3 hours before you do this, you should have finished eating anyway. So you do this on a regular basis. And apart from this, take cold water bath. Doesn't mean you should refrigerate the water. Room temperature, whatever is the current room temperature in Guduvanjeri in the morning times when you take bath, in that temperature alone you take bath. Don't take bath in hot water. Nervous weakness can damage your body, can increase your nightfall. So avoid that. Okay. Then take hip bath. Take a large bucket into which you can sit down, like how they give it for a small child. They'll take a big wide bucket and put the child inside to give bath to it. Likewise, you get buy yourself a big bucket, fill it with cold water and sit inside, such that your hips are completely immersed in that cold water, and give your cold water treatment for about 15 to 20 minutes. And before you do that, make sure that you take a sun bath for half an hour. That means early morning, around 7:38 maximum. Before that, 6:30, 7 o'clock is preferable in Chennai climate. You go stand under the sun, preferably with only your shorts or only your dhoti, and remove your banyan and expose yourself to bare skin to sun, so that you can get a lot of vitamin D into your body. It will also give you a little bit of sweating, which is good. Come back and then take hip bath and then take cold water bath. And last but not the least, follow whole food plant-based diet. Eat a lot of fruits, followed by eating a lot of vegetables. Then you can have cooked vegetables. Then you can eat millets. If you follow this, your juice quality will be nice. Therefore, the blood quality will be nice. The muscle quality, the fat quality, the bone quality, the marrow quality will be very good. If the marrow quality is good, then generally your fluid, vital fluid quality will be very good in the cerebrospinal area or in the cerebellum area. And with the practice of Kayakalpa Yoga, Kundalini Yoga, and most importantly, your introspection exercises, you will be able to change this habit permanently in your life. Don't expect results to come within 1 week, but over a period of next 6 months to 1 year, certainly the nightfall will stop. Keep in touch with me. Good luck. Be blessed.
Raneshwari madam, please unmute yourself.
வாழ்க வளமுடன். Sir, for female members, this deer exercise, how to do and what are the uses, sir? எனக்கு நிறைய பேர், நான் இதுலதான் ஒரு 10 இயர்ஸ்ல இந்த குண்டலினி யோகத்துல தான் காயகல்ப கிளாஸ் கேட்கும் போது நிறைய பேர் கேட்பாங்க இந்த meaning of deer exercise and what are the uses and how to do.
How to do, you need to go to a local sky professor and ask. Okay, deer exercise for women is extraordinarily beneficial for women. Okay, in fact, it is so beneficial that some of the siddhas have believed that it is even possible for women to voluntarily stop the menstruation cycle. The monthly periods can be stopped voluntarily. With that level of control in your body and hormone production is possible, they say. I have so far not met too many women who is capable of doing that, but certainly it will regulate the monthly cycle. The uterus, which creates a lining of blood vessels to prepare a home for the anticipated baby formation, fertilized egg, becomes much better quality, and therefore the chances of proper natural conceivement is high, and a healthy growth of a baby is also very high. If there is excess fluid that comes out, particularly the blood loss during the menstruation, the blood loss is reduced. Then what else? Today there are so many different types of cancers in the women's reproductive organs, right? There is vaginal cancer, uterine cancer, etc. Breast cancer is quite a common problem for women nowadays, I hear. All of these can be prevented because the female deer practice will increase the blood, heat, air, life force, and magnetic circulation within the body. And therefore, the blood and the energy that is normally lost during the menstruation cycle is used by the body and by the glands, by the reproductive glands in the women's body, which will benefit a lot for the mother and the possibly the fetus, or the child that will grow for the mother later on. But of course, it's not just for the mother, not just for the baby, but it is also for managing the hormonal imbalances that happen for women from time to time. For instance, during the menopausal age, after about 45, 50 or so, when the women go through the complete stoppage of the monthly fertilization, the egg production process, the menstruation process, they go through enormous problems. For instance, there is something called as the dysfunctional uterine bleeding, which produces a huge continual blood loss for women for even 30, 40 days, 50 days, 60 days, continually during the menopausal times. Those kind of problems will certainly stop. Imagine, losing blood for 2 days, 3 days itself is very difficult, very highly painful. But imagine losing it for 40, 50 days continually. It can be excruciatingly painful and complete drain of energy for the women. So all of this can be easily prevented. Of course, there are various other benefits also, such as the female hormone estrogen production in the vagina, uterus, breast, and ovaries. All of those reproductive systems, are harmoniously managed. It is indeed rejuvenating for the women and greatly relieve the symptoms associated with menstruation and menopause. It naturally increases the secretion of estrogens. There's no artificial means, there's no stimulation that is given. It's just a natural production of estrogen. If the estrogen is produced naturally, then the body naturally balances the whole thing, and the entire natural cycle becomes a very harmonious migration into the whole thing. And manual estrogen, man-made estrogen, taking injection, and all those things are not required for women. So that's all I can tell you at this point of time, but there are a whole lot of benefits. You can certainly talk to a local professor and learn more. Be blessed.
Thank you, sir. We'll have the last question for the day. Kasturi Sridhar, madam, you can ask your question. Please unmute yourself, ma'am.
Vazhga, valmudan, sir. Sir, your speech is really very excellent, sir. We learned the significance of Kayakalpa in biological method. Thank you, sir. I have two questions, sir, and also a request. First, I tell my request. The way your speech today is so nice. If you give speech in Tamil session also, will be very useful, sir. Kindly give in Tamil session also. And my two question is, shall we spread the Ojas breath where we feel pains because of gastritis problem? I have pain in shoulder bladder. Shall I spread Ojas breath on my shoulder bladder also, sir? And another question is, my father-in-law is also suffering from frequent urination. How Kayakalpa help him to come from this problem, sir? Come out from this problem, sir.
Thank you so much for your kind words. The Tamil speech, last week I gave a speech on the biology of human body and Kayakalpa yoga, both in English and in Tamil. English I gave in this session last Monday. Tamil I gave, I think, 2 days later in Singapore, Amma Manavalakalai Mandram, which is there in my website also. If you send me a WhatsApp message, I may be able to tell you where it is. You can listen to it. Otherwise, you can go to podcast.krishmuralieswar.com. If you go to krishmuralieswar.com, my name website, my personal blogging website, click on podcast. You can go to podcast, or you can go to Spotify and search my name. You will get the podcast. It is there in Google Podcast. It is there in iPhone also, iPhone podcast apps. You can search for in iTunes. You will get my podcast. The same speech, I have put it in Tamil. This speech, what I gave today in English, this Friday, I'm going to speak in Tirunelveli Sky Meditation Center in Tamil. So that also will be recorded and it will be available in my podcast channel. This speech today is also recorded and it will be available in my podcast channel. So that's a long answer for your short question, first question. Second is, for any kind of pain, any kind of illness, any kind of organ malfunction or disease in any part of the organ, certainly you can put ojas specifically for that part of the body. Supposing, let us say, left shoulder is paining, you put your right hand, right palm, in fact, over the left shoulder. And when you do ojas breathing, imagine your ojas energy, your magnetic life force energy, spreading through your hand into the shoulder blade. You can certainly do that, but don't overdo it. Do it only when it is absolutely painful for you. Otherwise, go look at a doctor. Find out why the pain is coming. Pain should not be there. Certainly, you should be able to solve it. Third one, frequent urination for your father-in-law could really mean that he is having some kind of a prostate related problem, or it could be a bladder related problem, or it could even be a kidney related problem. So please consult a doctor as to why this problem is there. It is, of course, for natural for people above the age of 60 to wake up once or twice in the night and pass urine. That is not wrong. It is not a disease or a condition. It's a very natural thing. The body just secretes more fluids than a normal young adult or in a youth. So above 50, 60, it's a very natural for one to pass urine 2-3 times in that. But every 1 hour, 2 hour, if the person is passing urine, certainly you need to consider going to a urologist. Please check with a urologist and see if there is any kind of a injury that might trigger this. It could be a penile injury. It could be some slight salt related problem. Person maybe has to eat less salt. That can also create this problem. Or it could be a blood related thing. Please consider going to a doctor and thoroughly do the check. I cannot just prescribe a solution over this Zoom online for such a problem. I do not want to recommend any yoga treatment or Kayakalpa yoga treatment right now, because it's not correct to do so. Thank you. Be blessed.
Thank you, sir. Shankar, sir, can you ask your question, sir?
Thank you. Vazhga, valmudan, be blessed by divine. Sir, while I was listening to this answer that you gave, I was intrigued to ask you if you can help us with a notice board page in veda3.edu.in, wherein every region can actually publish their schedules. Looks like there are a lot of things going on, and I was actually thinking that you are only now doing it in this Swamiji's birthday meeting ID in the morning in English and evening in morning in Tamil and evening in English. But I get to know now that you are also talking in Tirunelveli, Madurai, and other region Zoom IDs. It'll be great. I mean, I definitely can follow you in your podcast, but there are many other leaders who are also actually giving their speech. It'll be really great if you can actually dedicate a page for these schedules, so that individual regions can actually send this information or update directly in a notice board kind of page in veda3.edu.in, sir.
We'll certainly consider. The problem is not the page. Problem is a person. We don't have too many people, especially during this lockdown period, who can coordinate, collect all this and update that page. We will try. Thank you for the suggestion.
Thank you, sir, for answering our questions and sharing your divine insights with us. Dear Sky Meditators, let us all put our minds together to bless and thank our beloved Professor. Please come to meditative state by focusing your mind on the Vidurya Chakra. Professor Krish Murali Eswar, be blessed by the divine. His good health, be blessed by the divine. His loving family, be blessed by the divine. May his knowledge and divine service spread to the entire humanity, be blessed by the divine. Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. Please keep enlightening us with such more interesting and valuable topics. Thank you, sir. Giving is not just about making a donation, it is about asking a difference. We would like to extend our heartfelt blessings to the following Sky Meditators for their generous donations made on 14 June 2020, Sunday. Thank you, Srinivasa, Kalki, Indira, Ilangovo, Kanchana Mala, Bhupalakrishnan, Govind Rajlu. You have made your donations through our veda3.edu.in. And thank you, Vijay, Tamil Selvan, Selva Murugan for making your donations through our Unboli app. We appreciate your kindness and utmost generosity. Thank you so much. By the grace of the divine bliss, may you and your family enjoy good health, long life, enough wealth, peace, prosperity, fame, and wisdom. Be blessed by the divine. Dear Sky Meditators, we are happy to bring the online programs live from the Alia Temple of Consciousness tomorrow. Morning 6 a.m. we have exercises in Tamil. 7 a.m. we have 9 center meditation in Tamil. 7:30 a.m. we have 9 center meditation in English. By 11 a.m. we have speech in Tamil on the topic Nar Panbugal by Professor Dr. Sangeeta from Aliyar. Evening programs at 6 p.m. we have Duryadida meditation in Tamil. 7:30 p.m. we have Duryadida meditation in English. 7:55 p.m. we have speech in English on the topic Family Peace by Senior Professor K.R. Munirathinam from Chennai. Please share this message with your friends and relatives. Let everyone take part in this spiritual journey. We thank our beloved President, Padma Shri Arulnidhi S.K. Mailanandan sir for his leadership, guidance and entire support. See you all tomorrow with another interesting session. This is Jamuna Mani from the World Community Service Center, Alia IT team. Vazhga Valmudan. Good night.